Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am Lori Anne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a really great day. I know I am. And I'm excited because this is Northwell Health Day, and we have the eye on the ball. You'll understand that in a second. Very, very happy to invite Tatiana Rodriguez here with us today. She is an administrative support assistant at the Lions Eye Bank for Long Island. And this is actually a really interesting and exciting discussion. A lot of really good stories. So welcome to the show, Tatiana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Very, very happy to have you. So you have an interesting story on how you became the administrative support assistant of the eye bank, or actually what happened while you were. And I'd love you to share your story about your father.
Sure. So I started working at the eye bank in 2018, February 2018. I had never heard of an eye bank before. So when I started working here, I realized what the eye bank was about. I learned what the donation process was in detail, but I was very weary about it and just secretly nervous. I wasn't really asking many questions when I first started here. I was just observing and just seeing what the process was like, but from an outsider in a way.
Sure.
But once I started learning everything about the eye bank and the amazing work that they do here, I started questioning my beliefs about donation and where do I stand when it comes to donation. And I remember going to Kristen, which is our executive director here, and going to her with my concerns and my questions. And I remember just coming and asking if she had a few minutes. And I said, Kristen, I'm a little nervous about donation. I don't really know how it works. I just feel weird that I'm not a registered organ donor and I work here, but I'm nervous about it. And she asked me why. I told her the reasons why. I told her that the process, I was imagining the process to be scary. I was imagining the process to be difficult to, a decision like that to make, kind of not knowing what happens after.
Scary for the family and difficult. Yeah.
And for you, because you have to look at it as you're making this decision, but it's a future decision. It's something that is going to happen, a decision that has to be made when you're not here.
Sure.
And it's hard to look at it in that perspective. But we sat down, she spoke about the process. She told me how the person's honored from beginning to end.
Right.
And it was just such a beautiful explanation that I signed up to be an organ donor on the spot with her. And I said, can you walk me through the process? She took me to the Ledley website and I filled it out there. And 2 weeks later, my dad passed away of a heart attack.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
It was a crazy day. He just had a slight fever. He had some discomfort. And he was taken to an urgent care and was sent home with antibiotics, and an hour later passed away from a heart attack. It was like a very extreme, it went from just a routine checkup to we lost him.
Wow.
And it was a very difficult experience for me. My father was one of 12 children. My mother is one of 12 children, so I have 24 uncles and aunts. Very big family.
That must be fun around the holidays.
Oh, it's we can't all get together pretty much. We all have to kind of just pocket ourselves and just take turns, in other words.
I hear you.
But I just remember my mom. I had my mom's phone with me because she was receiving a lot of phone calls and she just wasn't able to. She was still processing everything. And I remember it was like 12 midnight and I saw text messages from Live on New York. And I'm reading them and it's basically saying they're trying to reach out to me because regarding my father. So I picked up the phone and I said, I know that this is something that everyone gets reached out from. Everyone gets reached out from Live on New York if they believe that if you can donate, whether you're registered or not. So I'm assuming this is just a routine call. I pick up the phone and I'm just like, hi, they're asking me questions if I was willing to consent my father for a donation. And I said no. And they said, but your father is a registered organ donor. And that's the first I was hearing of that.
Wow.
And now my dad was a very old-fashioned person. He was a jokester. He was just such a funny man, but very set in his ways. And the last thing that I would ever imagine was that my dad was a registered organ donor.
Why?
And that changed everything. Because when she said that, I looked at my brothers and I said, he's registered as an organ donor. And it was just like this audible gasp. Like, are you serious? And
so no one in the family was aware that he was a registered organ donor?
No.
And what was it that surprised you about that?
Because, like, in our culture, we don't talk about donation. And it's not that people are opposed to it or people are for it. It's just it's never spoken about.
Sure.
And
well, that was our culture. That was our parents' culture, is that we didn't talk about private things. Everything wasn't on social media. There was no social media, and you didn't talk about it. And it was just a family decision, right? But it was his decision, and family didn't know about it. Was your mother aware?
No.
Wow.
I had no idea.
That's amazing.
It was left to me to make that final call.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm working at the eye bank, and he was able, they told me that he was able to do corneal donation and bone. So here I am working in the eye bank, now experiencing donation on the other side.
Wow.
And it was
on a very personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that my coworkers, Kristen, were amazing.
Kristen is the executive director, and my understanding is he was able to help 19 people through corneal and bone donation. 19 people with one donation. Yeah. What a gift.
It's like I get goosebumps every time I even remember it. And I'll tell you this, when you lose a family member, it's such a sad experience. It's so difficult.
Sure.
But for me, knowing that he donated, the whole service for him was more of a celebration of life and a celebration of his legacy living on. Like, we were all talking about donation during his services and how surprised everyone was. And everyone was now looking into registering to be a donor. And the conversation it spread and it became something normal to talk about instead of it being a taboo.
Yeah.
And I was just proud. It was just so much. Like, I felt just proud to be his daughter. The fact that he made a decision like this, that he made this decision when he signed up in the 1980s.
Wow.
So he had it in his license because he used to save all of his licenses.
Yeah. So
I went through his keepsakes and I found all of his previous driver's license, and they all had the heart.
That's amazing. It's such a beautiful story. See, I told you it was going to be a great story today. It's such a beautiful story. And here's the thing is nothing, anybody who listens to me knows that I say this all the time. There are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. There's always a reason, but that you ended up working at the eye bank, that you ended up, becoming a donor yourself after you heard Kristen, the executive director, and how she explained the donation process, that he made that decision. It must have been easier for you to make that decision on his behalf because you knew what his wishes were, right?
Yes. So it was almost as if, I had to make the decision for the family.
Right.
It was left up to me, but it really wasn't left up to me because he made that decision, and that's what made my decision easier.
Right.
But it was almost like I sat there and I imagined that he was next to me.
Yeah.
And I was asking him that question. Like, should I do this in a way, subconsciously? Yeah. And I thank every single day that I made that decision.
Yeah, well,
it's the best decision ever.
Couple of things is that you need to validate. That's a hard decision to make, and you got validation from him by the fact that he decided license after license that he was going to make this donation, this beautiful, beautiful, selfless gift. And he was able to help 19 people through the
people.
That's just amazing. So thank you so much for that gift across the board. So help us all understand, what's the role of the eye bank?
The role of the eye bank, so we procure corneal tissue. So basically what we do is that we recover. We also do a questionnaire with families in order to have them finish, to notify the family.
Yes.
And also finishing the consent process. So if the person isn't registered to be an organ donor, it would be a different type of conversation. But if they are registered, then it would be a set of questions to clear the patient.
Do you help families? Do you help families with conversations about donation?
With conversations, do we have families with conversations of donation?
No. Do you help families with the conversation about donation?
Yes. Any questions they have throughout the whole questionnaire process, we give them the opportunity to ask any questions that they may have regarding donation, and we're there to support them along the whole way. That
is truly amazing. And so it's organ, eye, and tissue donation?
For the eye bank, it's eye and tissue, and corneal.
Eye and corneal. And so what if someone is just a donor, do they get to choose what they're donating, or do? Yes. Okay.
So basically, this is where my passion has come into after my father's passing, after my experience, is that when you register to be an organ donor, there is a form that you can fill out where you select exactly what would you like to donate, whether you would like to do research, whether you would like to just do transplant only. And on our website, lovely.org, we have the form that you can fill out, and you can be extremely specific on what you don't want and what you do want. And that helps because your family doesn't have to make that decision for you. However, it is extremely important that you speak to your family before. It is in a very important conversation because they're still going to be asked yes or no. And if you know 100% that your family member wants to donate and that they know exactly what they want to donate, it just makes the process much easier for you as the family member.
Sure. I can only imagine how much easier it is to be able to know what your family member wanted, your loved one wanted. Both my mom and dad have passed, and let's see, it's been 15 years for my mom, and it will be 6 years this May for my dad. So, so understanding all of those conversations are difficult. They all come at you at the same time while you're also in a grieving process and mourning the loss of your loved one. So, but people can go on www.lebli.org. That's lebli.org. When they go online, and if you go to Facebook Live, if you go to our Facebook location, social media platform, if you go to Healthy Lifestyle with LA, the link is right there. You could actually apply online or register online to do these donations, right?
Yes, right there. It's right when you open it. It's right there.
Now, when is Donation Life Month?
It's now. It's in April.
It's in April. How'd that happen?
You said things happen for a reason.
There you go.
It's coincidental. It's now. April is Donate Life Month. And April 16th is Donate Life. We're celebrating Donate Life on that day.
Love it.
Well, Blue and Green Day.
Blue and Green Day?
Yes, and those are the colors of Donate Life. So they call it Blue and Green Day. And that's when we talk about donation, educate people on the importance of donation, the community, Northwell Health, the hospital. We're located at Elijah Valley Stream.
Right.
So we do a lot of activities here at the hospital to spread the word on the importance of donation.
And where is that? So it's Blue and Gray Day and lots of activities where?
We're going to do activities here at LIJ Valley Stream, in Franklin Square. I'm sorry, on Franklin Avenue.
Sure.
Northwell Health. And we also do things on social media. It's just basically spreading awareness on donation, on the importance of donation, and getting people to sign up to be organ donors.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So in the last few minutes, if you can reach out and say anything you want to our listeners, what is that going to be?
What I would say to the listeners is, definitely know that all of us have a legacy. All of us have an important part that we play in this world. And a way that we can spread our legacy is by helping others, signing up to be an organ donor, speaking to our families about our decision, even reaching out to us if they have any questions or concerns. We have a contact us part in our website where they can reach out to us with any questions or concerns about donation, any fears that they have. It's better to speak out and get those answers questions, but definitely sign up because there are so many people out there that need an organ or a cornea or a tissue that are waiting for this donation. And you just give the gift of sight, give the gift of life, and change someone's life for the better.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. So 2 questions for you. What's the most fulfilling part of your job? Reaching people, talking to people, educating people, and just answering any questions that they have, because I see myself in them. I see who I was when I first started here, and I'll do anything that I can to make them see donation like I see it now. And if I can help in some way, that's what I'm about. I love that. And then the last question I have for you, and thank you so much for being so real with us, Tatiana, is what impact has your father's decision to donate had on your life? It's changed my life. I grieve him differently. I think of him with honor. I think of him with so much admiration. And, I will always miss him. Yeah, that never goes away. Like, no, it doesn't. I've learned that it stays with you, but I always get reminded what, he had to go for a reason. And 19 of those reasons are walking around this world now. Yeah. Yeah, those families must be unbelievably grateful for the gift that your father gave and your family gave on the loss of your father. But like you said, he was full of energy and he was lively and fun and funny. And seems to me like he really knew how to live life, and that's a good thing. And he lives on through those 19 families. So congratulations for that. Congratulations for everything that you're doing and the work that you do at the eye bank. I really encourage everyone to give the gift of sight, give the gift of donation. Go to the website, which is www, obviously, lebli.org. It's Lions Eye Bank for Long Island. Just go there. You're able to register, maybe make that decision today to give that gift, and certainly check out Long Island Jewish Valley Stream to see what events are going to be happening this Friday on April 16th. So I really encourage everyone. Tatiana, you are wonderful. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me.
You are a delight. Anytime. You can come back anytime you have an event going on. Let's help get this information out. This is really important for people to do, really important for people to know. I, for one, the thought of donation I was very apprehensive about it. And as a result of this conversation, I'm not apprehensive anymore. I think I definitely want to go in that direction, be able to help other people even beyond the time that I'm here. And, just
speak to your loved ones. That's the most important part. Speak to them about your donations. Tell them, that decision you've made so that it's easier for them.
And so that it doesn't catch them off guard, right?
Yeah. Like it did me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I can't even imagine how you all felt when you saw that, and then the conflict of whether or not you wanted to do it. So, and I'm so proud of you that you made that really tough decision, but you made that decision in honor of your dad to do what he wanted and what he expressed, and that's not easy to do because sometimes we go within and it's kind of selfish of us because we don't want to do stuff like that. But it's really important. Look, you help 19 families. And you did what he wanted, and you actually did his wishes. You executed his wishes. Yeah. So you're a superhero in my eyes, Tatiana. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to take a little bit of a break. This is Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. And if you need more information about us, please reach out to us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And we will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am Lori Anne. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, or you'd just like to chat, please feel free to reach out to healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And of course, hello to our Facebook people who are watching us live today. However, also, you could follow us on social media. We'd love you to follow us at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. We are on Facebook and Instagram. So please follow us and you'll hear more about our wonderful guests. So to continue in our eye conversation, because it is the month awareness, we have Dr. Henry Perry from Northwell Health System. He's a board-certified ophthalmologist, nationally recognized expert in disease and surgery of the cornea and corneal pathology. Dr. Perry has written over 200 peer-reviewed papers and numerous chapters on cornea, in refractive surgery, and ophthalmic pathology. He is also the winner of the Honor Award, Senior Honor Award, and was awarded the Life Achievement Award from the American Academy of Ophthalmology for his contributions to ophthalmology. Say that 3 times fast. Welcome to the show, Dr. Perry.
You did a great job. I don't know if I could have done as well.
Oh, my goodness. I do have to slow down in my New York speak. So welcome to the show, and help us understand, what does ophthalmology mean? How does it differ? Is it the guy who checks your eyes for your glasses? Help us out.
Well, I think if you think about doctors who go to medical school, they have a broad-based training in the human body and are exposed to many different disciplines in terms of medicine. They can be internists, radiologists, surgeons, and during medical school, the young doctor is exposed to these different facets of medicine and usually leans towards one particular facet. May become a pediatrician or a doctor for children, an internist, gastroenterologist, cardiologist. There are many different fields that he can go into. And one of the fields that is highly sought after is ophthalmology. And that's because ophthalmology is a surgical subspecialty, but it is also one that is associated with a great degree of success in terms of the surgical procedures. For example, the main type of surgery that's performed by an ophthalmologist is cataract surgery.
Yes.
And that surgery is basically 98% successful. So it's nice to be able to discuss with the patient he needs this procedure, and the likelihood is 98% that it will be successful.
That's amazing.
As opposed to many other fields where it's nowhere near as high.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what is the cornea?
So the cornea, which is my specialty inside ophthalmology, which is its own specialty, basically dealing with diseases of the eye. And the cornea is the only part of the outside of the eye that's clear. So it allows light to go into the eye, and it is focused on the retina, which allows vision. So the cornea is like the window of the eye, and it's made up of clear tissue, clear living tissue.
Right.
And the best part of the cornea is the fact that once there's a problem with the cornea, it can be corrected. It can be corrected by a surgical procedure, which is called a corneal transplant. Because the cornea has no blood vessels, you can remove the cornea and take a cornea from somebody who has passed and use that cornea to restore vision.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Well, not really, but Tatiana was just here from the Lions Eye Bank for Long Island in our first segment, talking about the importance of donations, and you do those transplants. So you take those donations, right, and help people regain their sight, correct?
Yes, it's sometimes spectacularly successful for the patient and for the family of that patient to have someone go from having to be led around to being able to have excellent vision. And the change can occur in a matter of days. So it can be a very dramatic, very rewarding
What a gift.
position.
What a gift that you give by being able to do those transplants. So between the donations by the families and you doing that, that's such a gift to the individual who's receiving it. Let's talk a little bit about the Lions Club, because it's the Lions Eye Bank for Long Island. The Lions Club, which, full disclosure, you and I spoke earlier that I've been going down to Port Jeff Lions, and they do such fabulous work. So let's talk more about the group and how you feel about them.
Well, the Lions Group is an international organization with over 1.5 million members throughout the world, the majority being here in the United States. And it's basically one that started around 1917, and it was dedicated to the fight against blindness. It was actually Helen Keller who initiated the mantra for the Lions groups, and they're considered Knights of the Blind.
Yeah.
And they're dedicated to helping people who have lost their vision, trying to help them restore their vision or deal with the blindness that they have. And they have numerous charitable events and organizations that wind up doing a lot of great things. One of them is the eye banks that are throughout the country, which help supply corneal tissue for corneal transplantation. And the other is the Guide Dog Foundation,
yes,
where they have services for blind patients to learn how to work with the dogs, and they have families who help raise the puppies and train them early in their life so that they can become a guide dog.
Yeah, actually, I have a friend who has trained a number of guide dogs and loves the whole process. Loves the process. The hardest part is that family does get a little connected with the puppies, but they know that the pups are going to someone to help them, and it's a really wonderful thing to teach your children.
Right. They have each puppy for about a year.
Yeah.
And then the puppy is graduated, so to speak.
Yeah. They literally have a ceremony on that. So it's two wonderful programs that they do. And again, the Lions Eye Bank for Long Island is really, really germane and important to the corneal transplants that you do. What's the toughest thing, or the most common, I should say, thing that you see other than cataract surgery?
Well, I'm a corneal specialist, so I do cataract surgery and corneal transplants. But the thing that I relish doing is restoring functional vision for people who have lost function, especially young patients who have a disease called keratoconus, where the cornea is misshapen. And because of that, they have increasing distortion of their vision to the point they can't drive a car, they can't read a book, and they can't really function in any normal capacity.
Wow. What got you into doing this? What was the impetus that got you into this specialty?
Well, for me, it was I fainted at the sight of blood. So I had to go into a subspecialty that was bloodless.
Understood.
Doing a corneal transplant, there's no bleeding.
Understood. I'm a fainter, so the blood situation is not a good idea.
In medical school, they say don't stand near Hank. There's any surgery going on.
That passing out thing is not good.
No, it's not good.
They always had the salts on hand for you?
Yes, but I got through it. So,
that's really good. What made you go into medicine, knowing that you had this aversion to it?
I actually didn't know I had that aversion to it until I got there.
Understood. Okay.
And, I had worked so hard and been so dedicated that it was an awakening. So I realized I couldn't do. I originally wanted to be a pediatrician, and then when I worked with kids, I found that when they were really sick and had cancer, I got too depressed. So I felt I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then I tried general surgery, and then I realized I kept fainting, especially early in the morning. So
that's not good during surgery.
Then I moved on. What?
That's not good during surgery.
Yes. And then eventually I found my way to ophthalmology, and I've been fortunate to be able to practice for the last 40 years, and I find it to be a wonderful specialty that's always evolving and becoming more and more successful, better techniques. And corneal transplants, for example, has evolved very significantly, and the healing time, which used to be a year, is now down to 1 week. So the results are almost immediate and very rewarding.
That is rewarding. And full disclosure, Dr. Perry is the medical director of the Lions Eye Bank of Long Island at Northwell Health Medical Center. And also, aren't you currently the chief of cornea service and director of research at Nassau University Medical Center?
Yes, that's a role that I relish. I loved teaching and doing research, and I'm fortunate to have the ability to work with eager young minds at the medical center, the residents there, and also medical students who rotate through the program. Now,
you know, what is the best thing about teaching the new prospect doctors, those students and staff at the Nassau University Medical Center? What just sings for you?
Well, the thing for me is that I like to see how motivated these young people are and how much they appreciate insights that I might be able to provide to them, which will help them in their careers and help them avoid some of the pitfalls that can occur when you're treating patients.
Yeah, that's really a gift to them to give them that information. So what?
There's nothing like experience.
Yeah,
and that's what I try to do. I try to transfer that to them.
Yeah, because you can help them avoid some hurdles that you've either had or you've watched other people have. So also, what does this program at the Nassau University Medical Center do for the residents of Nassau County?
Well, if you think about it, it's important that we have new doctors who are trained, and what we have at Nassau County Medical Center is a very robust teaching program where young doctors can specialize in ophthalmology and over a 3-year period become very facile with the techniques and the diseases that occur with respect to the eye, so that the program has been in existence since 1968.
Wow.
And more recently has gained national prominence as the graduates have become more and more well known because of their accomplishments in the field. So I'm happy to be part of that program and contribute to it in a hopefully a positive way. And the Lions Group was especially helpful in this regard because they helped us provide an instrumentation which we were unable to ascertain on our own.
What instrumentation was that?
That was a topographer that was bought by the Lions Group here in Long Island, and it was one that enables us to better diagnose that disease I was talking about, keratoconus.
Yeah.
And by diagnosing it early, there's now a treatment that prevents the progression of keratoconus, and this way the patients who are diagnosed early do not require a corneal transplant.
Wow, that is totally amazing. So what's the value of a corneal? I think you referred to it as a corneal topographer in evaluating the patients.
So when you look at the cornea and you're looking at it with a biomicroscope, which magnifies it 15 times, it's very difficult to really get a feeling for what they call the topography or the elevations or crevices in that cornea.
Right.
However, there's an instrument called a topographer, which is creating what we call a topographical map. So the cornea can have flat areas and it can have steep areas that are like a mountain, areas that are like the water. So when you look at a topographical map, the blue will be like the ocean, kind of flat.
Right.
A yellow will be a little hill, and then red will be the top of a mountain. And by having the ability to just look at the colors and the topographical map that's created by the topographer, we can see if patients have a tendency toward keratoconus. And if they do, we can treat them early and do that to the level of 99% prevention of progression of the disease.
What is keratoconus?
Keratoconus is a genetic disease that's associated with vigorous eye rubbing. It's higher in people who have allergic problems. And what happens is part of the cornea becomes thinner, and it's near the center of the cornea, so the vision becomes distorted. And people don't lose their peripheral vision. They can see, but everything is very distorted, and they can have double vision, triple vision, even quadruple vision.
Wow.
Through one eye. Just imagine having 4 different images in each eye and trying to get them to work.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's why they can't drive, and they really can't read, and they don't have functionality with advanced disease.
Right.
And they need to have a corneal transplant.
Understood. Wow. The things that you're doing is just magical, and it's right here on Long Island. And anyone on Long Island can take advantage of the services that you provide?
Yes. And there are probably 40 corneal specialists on Long Island, and they're all well-trained and very capable of doing corneal transplants.
Amazing. And how can someone get in touch with you if they want more information? How can we get in touch with you?
Well, I'd rather have them get in touch with the eye bank.
Okay.
And that would be the best way. And I think part of the problem with the public is they don't realize what a integral job the eye bank does in terms of providing tissue, and that if you think about the number of people who are involved with handling the tissue, distributing the tissue, it's probably in the range of 20 different people.
Whoa.
For example, we have volunteer drivers who will go to the airport and pick up tissue if they come in from a different state, or they'll pick up tissue that has been processed at our eye bank and bring it to the area where the surgery is being done.
Right.
And we also have surgeons who are as different locations as Port Jefferson all the way to New York City.
Wow.
And they will deliver the corneas in the morning so that the Lions volunteers are an integral part of the eye bank's function. And over the years, they've done over 14,000 trips.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's really been an important part of the success of the eye bank.
Well, Dr. Henry Perry, thank you so very much for being on today. We really appreciate it. Again, if you want more information about Dr. Henry Perry and Tatiana or the Long Island Lions Eye Bank, go to lebli.org. Long Island Bank for, the Lions Eye Bank for Long Island is their Instagram and Facebook. Reach out to them, get more information. Dr. Perry, you are a real gift to us. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle with LA. It's always my gift to have you listening to us. So make the best of your day. Thank you again for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle. I am Lori Anne Casdia. Until next time, show up for you and show up big.